Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Barakahak Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who ruled and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya coming at you with another lesson, and I'll be profiling a little bit of this video from a Homestead Journeys YouTube channel titled "Something is Very Wrong with the Food in America and Everyone is Noticing." Hey, that covering cast that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, has put over the people to deceive them into thinking that his so-called science is factual, he's for everybody's good, he's the ultimate humanitarian, is falling apart. As we're about to see in this clip, more and more people are waking up to the fact that the foods we eat are just chemicals and plastics and poison. And then what else you got going on? The E.P. Stein files exposing these devils for being cannibals and PDF files. Hey, Esau Edom's got nowhere left to hide. Hence why it says in Revelation 12, verse 12, he's about to come down in great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. But, hey, the men of the Lord, chiefly of GMS, a great millstone, from the apostles and elders all the way down to the youngest men in sincerity, have been telling you that this food we've been eating out here is poison. And it lines up with the scriptures that you Israelites, or you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans would be eating, poisonous, defiled food in your captivity. Which, before we play this clip, this is Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. And Yahweh said, "Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, the heathen nations, whither I will drive them." And that chief place we have been driven to is over here in America, Babylon the Great. And as we're going to see, this bread, this food, this drink, what have you, is clearly defiled. But this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes. And on a quick side note, as you'll see, a Homestead Journey has been putting more clips of, Israelites complaining about the deteriorating situation in America. You've had Elder Apostle Tahar and the Elder Brother Malcolm get on a Homestead Journey for really only showing the plight of Edomites. So, hey, something must be resonating in the spirit, but that's neither here nor there.
Have you noticed there's something different with our food lately? Like, really different. Things don't break down like we think they should. They don't maybe get moldy. It's questionable where certain things come from. There's a lot of questions right now here in the U.S. about our food system. Go ahead and check out some of these videos and let me know what your thoughts are.
Look at this. I'm not sure how much chicken you guys have prepared in the past, but how much of you all remember the chicken just kind of separating on its own, pulling apart without any effort? Why? What is this part of the chicken, y'all? Do you remember your chicken coming apart like this? This is coming right from the poker bag. This is their chicken.
Hey, I can attest to this with, some chicken breasts I've gotten before. When you go to cut it and, season it, it's like it's strands put together, like like a piece of rope unthreading.
See right out of the bag. The lines are there, and it just comes apart.
Have you guys seen that story about Dave's Killer Bread? And that they found very high levels of glyphosate in their bread, particularly in their white bread done right.
And glyphosate is a highly toxic, carcinogenic pesticide that they spray on, fruits and vegetables. And it's also been found on children's cereals. So, and, I've had that bread before, Mike's Killer Bread. Hey, that's a fitting name for it. It truly is killer bread.
I've been buying Dave's Killer Bread, in particular, the white bread done right. I couldn't tell you how many years I've been buying that. Couldn't tell you. Many years. That is the only bread I ate. It's the bread I gave my son, because I thought I was doing something good. I was trying to be a smart consumer.
I'll tell you right now, any company, institution, or anything like that has a bold-faced white men running it, hey, you should run in the opposite direction. And anything they recommend to tell you to do the exact opposite. Because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And hey, as it says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, he's being revealed and consumed by the spirit of the mouth of the Lord, his prophets. And then shall that wicked be revealed.
Try to eat very healthy, try to do well for my son. Spent almost $7 on each loaf of that just to get poisoned with clay.
Hey, 7 means completion, so a complete amount of poison for this woman and her son.
I hate it here, guys. If that doesn't tell you, by the way, I've been making my own bread now, and the second I learned how to make bread, and I made a loaf, and it was so much better than anything I've ever bought in the store, and I have never bought a loaf of bread since. That's what we need to be doing. It's so unfortunate. I know we're busy.
Hey, that's what it's coming down to, Of course, we got a budget out here, because, Jake on a tight regimen. But if you can, make your own bread, do what you can. Elder Yashuamba, the Dallas camp, he talks about how he makes his own bread. And, you go to a farmer's market or go to, an international store to get your herbs and your spices and stuff like that. Because, I'm guilty of this myself. Going to these, mainstream places, all you're really buying is poison.
And we shouldn't have to do these things, but if you have to learn how to make things and do things for yourself, because they're just trying to everything.
Okay, so everyone in the US is showing how their bread does not dissolve underwater and it's pretty much rubber. I want to show you Australian bread underwater. Alright. Straight away.
Got something today.
And listen closely to what this Edomite lady is about to say.
I saw a video yesterday about our cheese that we get at the store. 90% of them all use a rennet that is made by Pfizer. So I decided to go down a rabbit hole and I looked into it, and sure as shit, Pfizer makes a bioengineered rennet.
And you know what P.F. Iser, along with the modernity and the J and the J we're dealing with back in 2019 to 2021, that's got a lot of people, fucked up out here if they haven't, went back to the spirit world. And remember what they said, we're having a lot of people not wanting to drink our juice. So we might have to engineer foods like salads and other things with the M to the Rena in it.
And so I was like, well, hopefully it's not the cheese I love. I love Tiller.
And I'll say this too. start looking at the ingredients on a lot of your products now, because it already says it's got all those different yellow 5s, red 40s, high fructose corn syrup in it. But a lot of things are starting to say this product contains bioengineered materials. We got to get out of here. Which, real quick, this is what it's coming down to. This is Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 16. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of the bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care. And Jake's, again, by weight. Jake's got a budget out here, and a lot of Jakes, don't have the ability to get the more higher end, so-called healthier products. So they got to get a lot of these generic brands and poisons out here. But as I said, and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment. And I'm going to get that word care in the Strongs, which is H1674, de agua. And it says anxious, anxiety, care, carefulness, fear, heaviness, sorrow. And, a lot of Jakes, myself included, you try to find a healthy alternative, and then you look over the ingredients with care, and it puts you in a state of heaviness and sorrow, because it's like, damn, we can't eat anything out here because everything's got some kind of hydrogenated vegetable oil in here, some kind of seed oil, bioengineered foods, just straight poison out here. And the root word is H1672, dog. Same thing. To fear, dread, to be anxious, concerned. Let me see if there's anything with that word astonishment. Oh, we got to get this. And that word astonishment is H8078, shemamoni. Horror, dismay, appallment. And you can see by the expressions on those people in that clip, they're in a state of horror, dismay, and appallment at just how fake and poisonous our foods are. Stupefaction, astonishment. Let's see what the root word says. Oh yeah. H8074, shamame. And at the bottom it says, to cause oneself desolation, cause oneself ruin. And by eating these defiled foods out here, you're ruining your body. Internally you're getting messed up. You got a lot of people obese out here because these foods they don't break down in your body, so they just store there. They're eating away at your mental functions. That's why you got a lot of people just jacked up out here, agitated, stupid, angry, driving erratically. And then on top of that, what did they get during 2019 to 2021? That juice.
Cheese. Love it. We use it all the time. And sure shit. Right here. I Googled it. They use bioengineered rennet from Pfizer. And so in that video I saw yesterday, they mentioned if you're going to use cheese, make sure you get European cheese. So now I got to find a cheese.
And go and look at the ingredients lists for European made products versus American products. I remember ketchup. If you go to, like, say, Heinz ketchup made in Europe, it's just vinegar, tomatoes, salt, and sugar. But go look at the Heinz ketchup over here in America. High fructose corn syrup, a damn a science, textbook, information on the back
where to
of
find it and how much is it. And I have so many questions, and I am so pissed off. How do you feel about this? What cheese do you use? It doesn't use this crap. Please let me know in the comments. I would love to know.
The fact that so many of us have both cans of corn in our pantry says that this change happened pretty recently. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you, because this has been making the rounds on social media and you might want to check your corn. You know, I went through every can of Great Value that I have in there to see if any of them have this, and nothing has it except for the corn. And let me show you what they changed. Well, first of all, the calories doubled. Almost everything in the nutritional label doubled. So ingredients: corn, water, salt. Corn, water, salt. But now it's a product of Thailand, and what everybody's talking about is the California warning label. Every Great Value can that I went through, this is only on the corn that comes from Thailand. So my best guess is that it's coming from the pesticides used in Thailand. They very specifically removed the "it's great for you," this little guy here. And if you go look up on their website, so you can pause and read, for them to put that icon on it, it has to meet all of this. And clearly the new cans do not, and they've got the California cancer warning on there. So there's that. So you might want to check your corn.
All right, explain to me the weird world we live in with our food and where it comes from. So right here, I'm in Florida. It's my feed station. It's been here for 5 years. Taking a lot of deer off of it, a lot of critters. There's a stand down there. Call that the guard tower. Well, the church brought the fire station a bunch of fruits and vegetables and bread and stuff. And I noticed we had like literally cases of it. Now we're gonna throw it away. I put this out 3 days ago. On my camera, right there. 3 days ago. There's tracks all back here. I just filled the corn up again. They came to eat here, whatever. In what world do wild animals not eat grapes and apples? Especially deer. Hogs, wild hogs. We have a ton of wild hogs here. Got pictures of them. They haven't touched her. That is strange to me. Not even a bird has eaten any of this. Nothing. That's what you're putting in your body, folks. I don't know what it is. It's weird.
It's 3 a.m.
Hey, and just like animals can sense bad weather coming, animals can sense when food is defiled out here, or water is defiled. So you don't see an animal eating or drinking something, you damn sure don't put it in your body.
A rabbit hole. This food ain't real. This food is not real. This is bread. Mind you, I'm watching videos, so I remember that I had some buns in my pantry that I hadn't gotten rid of because I wanted some turkey burgers one day and I never used the rest of the buns. And I'm like, I know they should have maybe expired like December. It's January 7th. Y'all, this is the bread that should be expired. It should be molding or molded at this point. Why am I wringing it out like a dry, like this ain't food. That's not food. Y'all, I'm traumatized and I don't know what I'm gonna do, but now you're traumatized too.
This is what they feed our kids. This is a chicken sandwich, but this is how it looks. Look at this. This is ridiculous. But this is what they feed our children. This is what our children have to eat. And this is why I have to always have some healthy snacks, because who wants to eat this? This is what they opened up to. Crazy.
So crazy how David's Killer Bread just got exposed to having glyphosate in it, and all of a sudden it's buy one, get one free. All of a sudden, buy one, get one free.
And in case you needed more proof that the government is trying to harm us, I bought this bread months ago. This is the expiration date. It is best used by December 28th, 2025. It is currently February 10th or 11th of 2026. This bread has absolutely no imperfections, nothing. And I used to have to like freeze my bread, the same bread, like years ago, just because it went bad on me so quick. So I don't know what they're doing, but they're getting us fake bread.
So
That's it with that clip. But again, the children of Israel shall eat their bread defiled amongst the Gentiles, wherever they be scattered. Hey, we are definitely in the worst case scenario out here and gotta get out of here. But hey, Esau Edom's getting exposed on all levels, and he's just about to reach those bounds which he cannot pass. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah is about to take this devil out of power. But until then, hey, we gotta, eat our food with care and, just do the best we can. And, we already got a lot of these things inside us because, before we came into the truth, we were just eating food, thinking everything was good. And when clearly it wasn't. And, this devil's to the point to where even if the ingredients may say that it's healthy, you really going to believe this devil? I remember reading a book called, it was called Fast Food Inc. or Fast Food Nation, where they were saying, on an ingredients list, the only difference between an ingredient saying natural ingredients or artificial is the chemical or the name of it. So, hey, continue to pray over your food and just do the best you can. But for those of the hopeful elect, your sincere Akim and Akwat out there, which Yahweh Salakia, which Yahweh Ratazah, Yahweh Shah Ratazah, I'm of that number. Hey, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai has a hedge over us so that, with us doing our best, but things still slipping through, the Lord finds a way to, not give us the full effects or the effects that are just jacking up these average everyday people out here, which I'm going to close it out in Mark chapter 16, verse 18. They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, drink or eat anything poisonous, it shall not hurt them. The hedge of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai being over his elect. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. And that's another thing coming down the pipeline. The men of the Lord receiving spiritual powers to do miracles like the apostles and the disciples of old in the books of Acts. And hey, I can't remember which brother said it, but they made a beautiful point. You do have those that have come into the truth now that during 2019 to 2020 took that juice. Well, hey, some brothers will receive powers to perform those miracles, to lay hands on the sick and heal them of their elements, their ailments. Or hey, you have ailments from eating these foods or health issues. The same applies. So we're coming into some very beautiful times, which is why we should continue to stay strong and believe in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai and do whatever we can to stay in his good graces to continue to have that hedge over us. But that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharallah,